Hello and welcome. This is Essential Oils Made Simple, and my name is Rebecca Leonardis. I am an essential oils expert and educator. And while I do a lot of things in the holistic health environment, teaching people how to access and use essential oils is still my favorite thing today. I've been aligned with doTERRA as a company now for 6 years. I've experimented with, it seems like all of the other ones out there. And I would never now find myself using anything but doTERRA. So I'm really thrilled that you're here listening to this class, because in an hour from now, or probably closer to 45 minutes from now, I'm really hoping that you will very clearly be able to identify the differences between doTERRA and some of the other brands that are available, because essential oils, they're trending right now, right? They're a very trendy thing, particularly in our current health environment. And I think we're looking for health solutions. And sometimes, affordability is a consideration for sure. And sometimes accessibility is one of those considerations. But I think if you give me a few moments just to paint the picture about why doTERRA is truly the #1 essential oils brand, I feel like that's going to give you all the confidence in the world to know that you're making an excellent choice by bringing this into your family to take care of yourself and whoever it is that you support in your world. Maybe it's yourself, maybe you have pets, little kids, maybe you're taking care of older parents, whatever the case may be. There's going to be some information in here that is really specific to you and where you're at right now in this current health situation. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you because it's always nice to have something to look at while we're going through the material. So I like for you to have that. So let's just make sure we've got that going on. And if you have any questions whatsoever, my text number is going to pop up on one of these screens here shortly, and you are always welcome to send me a text message and just ask whatever questions are specific to you, because here's the thing, essential oils are very personal. And while some people will start using the oils because maybe they're looking to reduce toxicity in their home, for example, by getting rid of some of those toxic cleaning chemicals. Some people will be bringing essential oils into their life because they're looking for a natural solution to some sleep problems that may be happening in the house. Whatever your specific concerns are, I am certain that we can work together and figure out a solution that is really appropriate and really simple to get started so that you can achieve some results right away. And then keep in mind, using essential oils over a long period of time are ultimately going to offer you the very best benefits, because as they help your body find its way back to balance, that's when we really start experiencing the health benefits. So let's get started. My goal really in saying all of that, I'll know that I've done a good job here if I can leave you knowing 3 cool things about essential oils. That's really what this whole Essential Oils Made Simple or Essential Oils 101 class is all about. It's just giving you some foundational information that allows you to be like, yeah, okay, this is great. This is exactly what I was looking for. So we'll talk about those 3 cool things. We're also going to talk about the 3 ways to use the essential oils. And then ultimately, I do want to share with you how you get those oils into your home, because by that point, you'll be pretty curious about that. So the 3 cool things about essential oils, we're going to start with what I feel is the most important one, and that is that they are safe. They're 100% safe, 100% safe to use on all members of your family. So that includes babies and kids and the elderly and people that we normally fall under that sensitive umbrella. We can use essential oils on everyone. Now, when we talk about how to use those essential oils, there'll be some considerations around that. But I want you to know these essential oils, they're 100% safe and natural. They come from plant life. So essential oils come from various parts of a plant. So sometimes it's the stem, the leaves, the flower. In some cases, it's the bark. So they come from various parts of the plant. The essential oils exist within the plant to protect it. It's the plant's natural defense mechanism. So what we're doing essentially is harnessing the power of that defense mechanism, and we're using it to boost our own health. Okay, so it's really pretty fascinating. It's plant medicine. What we know is that when you do that, you create a very potent health tool for yourselves. And doTERRA is very unique in this sense because they go to great lengths to ensure that the oils that you've chosen to use from them are pure and potent. Okay, so what I mean by that, potency usually comes from, or it always comes from, finding the very best version of a plant. So that is to say, doTERRA sources their ingredients from all over the world because we know certain plants grow best in certain environments. So while it's not the easiest or the most inexpensive way to do things, it doesn't matter to doTERRA. Their commitment is finding potency for you, knowing that these will ultimately be used as therapy in your home. So some of our plants that we source for our oils come from various parts of the world. They come from all over Europe. They come from third world countries, Guatemala, for example, Somalia. The list goes on and on. I think we're up somewhere around 50 different countries that we're sourcing our materials from, our raw materials from. The other piece of this safety idea is that they are pure. And that should be really important to you. And I want to tell you why. When you are sourcing essential oils and you think about where the essential oil is being grown and what some of the practices are around that growth, you might encounter things like pesticides or plastic contaminants or any number of harmful things that could be found inside the essential oils. Kind of like the situation with food, right? Now, the difference here is that doTERRA tests their oils every single batch, not just a generalized test, but every single batch gets tested 54 different ways to ensure that it is free of all contaminants, pesticides, any kind of residue whatsoever, to ensure the purity of that essential oil. So now we know it's potent and we know it is pure. I should mention, when I talk about potency, you could compare essential oils to their herbal counterpart, for example, by taking, say, a piece of a peppermint leaf. It's a great example. You could chew on that peppermint leaf and you would get some of that minty flavor. But if you were to put a drop of peppermint essential oil into anything that you were consuming, you would notice a difference right away. One drop of our peppermint essential oil is like drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. That's the difference between the oils and their herbal counterparts, about 50 to 70 times more concentrated than the herb, okay? If we were together right now, I would pass around a bottle of peppermint. I'd have you take the lid off and experience it aromatically first. Your nose would know, I promise you that. Then I would have you put a drop of it in the palm of your hand, and I would have you breathe it in for sure, but I'd also have you put that drop, put your index finger into that drop and swipe it on the roof of your mouth. You would notice your sinuses opening up right away. It's incredible. And then I would have you, with what's left on the palm of your hand, I'd have you massage that into some of the areas where you usually carry tension, the back of your neck, your temples. And what I love to experience in a room full of people is to watch them start to recognize the cooling sensation that happens on the skin. So we always kick things off with peppermint. I wish we were together. However, maybe just even through that description, you can get a sense for what an experience with peppermint would be like. Very potent, very powerful. So that's the first cool thing about essential oils, is that they're safe. Now I'm going to talk about the effectiveness of the oil. So they are more effective than modern approaches to healthcare problems today. And I know that sounds like a bold statement, so I do want to share with you, kind of paint the picture of what I really mean. If you are a health professional watching this right now, I want you to know I have the utmost respect for you, particularly in today's health environment. I know you're standing on your head to be so supportive of all of us. You have our like limitless gratitude. But for right now, I'm going to have you give me a little grace, because I'm going to take us way back to Biology 101 for a moment and try to illustrate what I mean by the oils being more powerful than the approach to modern healthcare today. So if you will, my fist is representative of a cell in our body. We know we've got about 75 trillion of these that comprise our physical structure. Now, each of those cells in our body is coated with an oily cell membrane. And the role of that oily cell membrane, is to protect the cell, protect it from harmful invaders like bacteria or like virus. So what you should know is that, and you don't really have to remember any of this, but it's interesting. It's interesting to notice. So let me tell you just a little bit about those potential invaders. Bacteria likes to live on the outside of our cells, whereas virus, we're getting really familiar with this term, right? Virus likes to live on the inside of a cell, where it lives and replicates DNA and can cause a lot of problems. So when we have a bacterial infection and we go to see our physician, typically what happens is that physician is going to recommend for us a prescription, an antibiotic, if you will, and you'll take that antibiotic for 7 to 10 days. Probably at the end of that term, your original issue is gone. So the antibiotics, they worked, okay? They got rid of that problem, but they've also caused a problem as well. They have disrupted our gut flora, they have reduced our immunity, and they've probably thrown our hormones off a little bit. So there are side effects to using that prescription medication. Whereas the essential oils, I forgot to mention this before, there are no side effects. There are no addictions and no side effects. So let's keep this example going. What about when you have a virus? So we know that the prescription cleaned up the bacteria on the outside of the cell, but remember, virus lives on the inside of that cell, and it's protected by an oily cell membrane. The problem with today's prescription medications is that they are water-based synthetic molecules. So when you visit your physician and you describe symptoms of a virus, they almost always send you home and say, I'm really sorry that this is viral. There's not much that can be done. What you need to do is rest, drink a lot of water, and wait it out, basically, because those watery synthetic molecules that make up most of our modern day prescriptions cannot penetrate the oily cell membrane, right? Oil and water, they just don't mix. So virus continues to live in that cell. And this is where essential oils are different and more effective. They are oil-based, so they can permeate that oily cell membrane, which means they are able to get inside of the cell. They are antiviral, which means not only can the essential oil permeate that oily cell membrane, it literally is getting inside the cell and killing the virus. The nice little benefit to using essential oils is that we also know that they're antibacterial. So the bacteria that could be living on the outside of that same cell that has virus living inside, that can get cleaned up at the same time. We've already discussed the fact that the essential oils have no side effects and that they don't create any kind of addiction. So once your body has been allowed to restore to homeostasis or balance by getting rid of that virus, by getting rid of the bacteria, your body is better able to heal. Okay, so that, I hope, illustrates in a nutshell, really, because we don't have all the time in the world to talk about this, but gives you an idea of how that bold statement about essential oils being more effective than modern approaches to healthcare today, I hope it gives some color around that idea. And I hope that, having heard that, maybe you'll explore that a little bit more on your own, or you'll reach out and you'll ask the questions. If you need more information, just let us point you in the right direction. One of my favorite oils in terms of its effectiveness for getting into the cells and doing what it needs to do is our most favorite blend called On Guard. This is our protective blend, and it has been a hot commodity lately. It's always very popular, but particularly now, On Guard has been really in demand. And we have a whole category of On Guard products, from toothpaste to laundry soap to, lozenges, you name it. Hand sanitizer, which is back in stock right now. It's limited quantities, but it is back in stock. And of course, the number one product would be our 15 ml essential oil, just the oil itself. It is really powerful. It promotes healthy immune function. It soothes the sore throat, just as an example of what it can do. And it's great for cleansing at home and hands. We clean our entire home with On Guard, actually. Okay, so now we know it's safe and we know it's effective. The last cool thing to wrap up our 3 is that essential oils are more affordable than traditional medical care. Now, I'm going to paint the picture on this one for you too, so that you can ride along with me and really get the sense for what it is that I'm speaking to with this. Now, if you're Canadian watching this, you may be thinking to yourself, I have free healthcare, and I'm Canadian as well. So I beg you just to consider for a moment. I understand that the visit itself with your physician there's no cost associated with that. But in a lot of cases, you have had to take a day off work, maybe just a half a day, but you've had to put gas in your car to get to your physician's office. You have maybe had to invest in probiotics, because once you take the prescription that you know you're going to get when you see your physician, it's disrupted your gut flora, so you need to recover a little bit from that. So all of those costs add up to something. And we're just talking about the financial cost of things in this situation. So let me give you an example, something that is pretty regular in our home. I have a daughter who's on a competitive swim team, so earaches, ear infections seem to be not super common, but more common than most other conditions in our house. So before I found essential oils, my go-to in a situation like that probably would have been to go see the physician, get a prescription of antibiotics, and treat her in that fashion. And we already talked about all of the costs associated with that. Now that I know about my oils, what I do instead, first of all, the empowering ability to be able to provide a solution without leaving your home is something you cannot put a price tag on. I'll tell you that right now. But what I would do for her is I would use 2 drops of lavender and 2 drops of tea tree oil. I just put them on my finger and I would massage them around her ear, a little bit down her throat, and I'd put her to bed. We know that sleep is extremely healing for the body. I just used some lavender, so that's going to help her soothe into a great night of sleep, because it helps to slow the central nervous system down. It's one of the side benefits to using essential oils as therapy. And when she wakes up the next day, her earache will be gone. I've never experienced anything different. And the interesting thing about this is that application cost me 64 cents. So not only is it empowering, but it's extremely affordable, so accessible. It's just really awesome having the answers in your own home. And you may feel like I wouldn't even know where to start with my essential oils. And that's where doTERRA as a community, myself, all of the people that are part of the same doTERRA education team, our commitment to you is connecting you with resources that help you function with your new oils. For some people, that's a textbook. For some people, it's an app. For some people, it's just having access to one of us to be able to answer some of your questions. Whatever your best way to learn is, that will become available to you. So I mentioned lavender in this example of being affordable. I love lavender, and it is most definitely one of the oils we use most often. It provides feelings of calm. It can act in conjunction with a couple other oils as a great antihistamine. So as we approach spring, spring is coming. As we approach spring, we're going to need to start looking at some of the products that have those qualities of antihistamine in them. It's also calming for the skin, calming for the mind. We basically call lavender the Swiss Army knife of essential oils because it does so many things. Okay, before I move away from this, I'm going to recap it in just a moment, but I sometimes get people asking me, is it really possible that using essential oils has that powerful of an effect on the body? And I'm excited to share with you a medical example, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, because we're going to move into the ways that you can use essential oils. But before we do that, let me just quickly recap for you the 3 cool things about essential oils. I know you can see it here, but if you're listening because you're listening and busy doing other things in your home, I totally get it. I sometimes learn like that too. They are safe, 100% safe and natural. They are effective, and they are affordable. So those are 3 key things, I think, when we're looking to invest in any new way, like a lifestyle choice, and when we're looking to invest any of our resources financially. Time, you have to invest some time learning how to use them. So those are 3 key things that you need to know. Let's move on to the ways that you can use your essential oils. The first way is aromatic. And this is the one, remember I just said a moment ago, there's some skepticism sometimes. People are like, no, I don't know that it's really possible that just breathing something in has a powerful effect on my overall health and wellness. So I can understand that. Probably at some point I might have thought that as well, but it's so easy to use essential oils aromatically. That's typically the first place many people will start using their oil. So let me give you an example. If you have ever had surgery, yourself maybe, or certainly you know somebody who has had surgery before, when they go into the operating room, before the operation begins, the physician needs to put them under or knock them out, whatever you want to call it. So they typically do not give them a pill, and they don't give them an injection. What they most commonly do is they put a mask over that person's face and ask them to breathe in. So they're breathing in some synthetic compounds that cause the body to shut itself down, being knocked out, being prepared for the surgery. So how does that happen? It works the same way with essential oils too. So I want you to be thinking that at the same time as I illustrate this for you. Right here under my fingers is the start of a system called the olfactory system. It's basically your sense of smell. When you breathe in anything, natural compounds like essential oils or synthetic compounds like the medical example I'm using, you're going to breathe it in. It follows the olfactory path, and it goes to a part of the brain called the limbic brain. Within the limbic brain is the endocrine system, and the endocrine system receives that information that's being taken in through the olfactory system. And once it reaches the endocrine system, a message needs to be sent out to the body. And there are smell receptors on all organs in your body. Science has proven this. And these smell receptors are waiting for information to be received. Okay, so your pancreas, your liver, your stomach, every part of your body has these receptors. So in the medical example, you breathe it in, it hits the limbic brain, the endocrine system sends the message out to the body, and everybody's told to shut things down. It happens fast too. If you've been the one on the operating table, you know they tell you to count to 10. You never get to 10, right? It happens super fast. Same applies with your essential oils. Now the difference is you're breathing in a natural aromatic compound, but that message is received in the exact same way. You breathe it in, it hits the olfactory system, it travels to the limbic brain. The limbic brain delivers some information to the endocrine system. And now the endocrine system is saying, okay, I'm going to send the following message out to everybody, and they're going to react. If you're using lavender, for example, the message is to slow things down. If you are, revving things up, maybe you're using a wild orange or a peppermint or something along those lines, the message is different. The body will react differently. So this is a fascinating thing to know when we talk about the aromatic usage of essential oils. Everyone can benefit from using essential oils in this way. And if you have a skeptic in your house, it doesn't really matter, because if they are within range of the aroma, they are going to experience the benefits. So aromatically, you can use your essential oils in a diffuser. If you don't have a diffuser though, totally fine. You could do a drop in the palm of your hand. So drop in the palm of your hand, cup your hand, and breathe it in. We call that scent tenting. Okay, it's a really nice way to use your oils two ways essentially. You're using it topically, but you're breathing it in aromatically as well. You can also put it, I know in our car we use a wooden clothespin, and we just put a couple drops on the wooden clothespin and clip it to the vent in the car. It's really cheap and easy, and does a lot of great things for us. It improves mood. It cleans the air that we're breathing, which I know is a really important piece for you to know right now at all times. But I know our awareness right now is we're so keenly focused on the ways to improve our health and to never find ourselves in a situation like this again. I want to share little tips like that with you. Make sure what you're breathing in and consuming is really valuable to your overall health and wellness. And last but not least, but using the essential oils aromatically is going to support the respiratory system. We're going to move on to essential oils being used topically. I love using them topically, and my kids, I think this might be their number one way to use the oils topically. So you can use your essential oils on localized area. So if you have like a sore joint, you can apply essential oils directly to particular areas. But the key thing for you to note with using oils topically is that it is important to know, we already talked about how potent they are. So it really is important for you to know that dilution needs to be a part of your essential oils routine. So 1 drop of doTERRA essential oil diluted with, depending on the oil, but I want to say a teaspoon to a tablespoon of a carrier oil is a great way to introduce your body to the benefits of the essential oil and not create any kind of sensitive response to it. Because they're so potent, as we talked about before, when they hit the skin, they can cause sensitivity. So using a carrier oil, and by that I mean fractionated coconut oil, avocado oil, jojoba, different things like that. That you choose the carrier oil of your choice. There really are no rules around that, but it allows the essential oil to absorb into the skin much more effectively, and it prevents that essential oil from doing what we call flash off. So evaporating from the skin before it has an opportunity to be absorbed into the skin where we can take on the benefits. Okay, so keep that in mind, very important. For topical application, I'm also going to suggest to you, we talked about applying it directly. You could apply it to the bottoms of your feet. That's a really great consideration. And it doesn't matter what oil you choose to use in that way. You can use them all that way if you wish to. We have nice big pores on the bottoms of our feet, and they allow for really nice, easy access. They get absorbed very quickly through that route, so they can access all the cells in our body very quickly. My kids all do it that way. It's part of their bedtime routine. They roll a little bit of lavender on the bottoms of their feet or On Guard or whatever they're compelled to use. My daughter in particular, she's the youngest of the 3. She's very much into her oils, and she has like a little holder right beside her bed. And I notice each night she is drawn to one more than the other. She does her application, but it's become part of her nightly routine, which is really fabulous. Another consideration is to apply to the abdominal area. And I know most people enjoy this if they're experiencing abdominal discomfort. So one of our blends is called Zengest or Digest Zen. You can call it either or. It goes by 2 names, but it's our digestive blend. And it applied to the abdominal area has proven to be very effective for a lot of people. I'm going to move on now to the internal usage of essential oils, because my guess is that if you've had any exposure to essential oils prior to listening to this class, you may have been taught or heard or read or something along those lines that you should never take essential oils internally. And I'm here to share with you the idea that all of that advice has been correct until you met doTERRA. Because remember, this is the only company that tests every batch of their essential oils 54 different times to ensure potency and purity. You are not consuming pesticides, residues, plastic contaminants. None of that is part of doTERRA essential oils, and that can be proven. We are what we call CPTG tested, which stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade Tested Essential Oils. And while this is not a common label in the essential oils world, it's really important for you to know about. So in the food industry, we have like our FDA or Health Canada, and they monitor qualities of food so that before it reaches you, certain safety aspects must be met in order for it to reach the end consumer. That is not the case in the world of essential oils. So basically, if you are using essential oils from any place, and guys, I know you can buy essential oils anywhere. You can get them at the dollar store nowadays. But you can also get them from your trusted sources, like your favorite health food store, for example. The oils that are on the shelves and accessible to you have not been tested rigorously the way doTERRA oils have been. That's why they choose this model of bringing you information as opposed to being on the shelves somewhere, because you don't get the education that's required to fully understand the power behind using the essential oils. So when you see terms like organic, all natural, all those things that we really love when we're making a purchase for ourselves, unfortunately, those are not accurate claims. And many, many times you'll notice a bottle, for example, I remember doing this test, my friend had said to me, she goes, oh, so you have organic peppermint essential oil at home? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, I want you to turn the bottle over and look at the back of it and tell me if it says anywhere on it, do not ingest. I did this with two. I did this with peppermint and oregano. And I had spent a lot of money on these oils. I had gotten them at the superstore. I think I had spent somewhere close to $40 on the bottle of oregano, and I forget what it was for the peppermint, but they were not what I would call cheap bottles of essential oil. But on the backs of both of them, they said, do not ingest. And I found that so confusing because it said organic peppermint. So in my mind, organic peppermint, it should be exactly that and should be consumed, right? In small quantities, of course. But what's interesting is what's not required to be labeled on those bottles. So if it has been diluted with something in the bottle, so sometimes bottles have been diluted with sometimes coconut oil, but oftentimes olive oil, cheap olive oil. The olive oil maybe hasn't been tested thoroughly, is not organic olive oil. So do not ingest is a blanket statement to protect the company from you using something inappropriately when it hasn't been tested. I hope that makes sense. Whereas with doTERRA, we are 100% sure that the bottle you have in front of you, let's say it's lemon, for example, all that is in that bottle is 45 cold pressed lemons in that bottle. That's it. There's nothing else in there, nothing that has been used to fill the bottle. It's just 45 cold pressed lemons. It's fascinating when you think about it. So the health benefits are incredible. So not only do we recommend using doTERRA oils internally, we recommend it, we emphasize it, we support it, we'll talk about it every time we're with you, because if you're not currently using it internally, you might be missing out on some of the health benefits that the oils have to offer you depending on your situation. So if you're curious about that, let's talk a little bit more about it. Some of the ways you could take it internally: a single drop in a glass of water. So going back to the lemon example, that's the one my husband and I really enjoy, a single drop in our water while we start our day. There are many oils that are very therapeutic, but you may not enjoy the taste of. So we have these cool things called veggie caps. They're depicted there. And they're basically like break apart capsules. And you can put a drop or two of the essential oil that you're needing to use, take it just like you would a regular supplement. Therefore, you're getting the internal benefits without needing to taste it. There's also a couple of essential oils like frankincense or copaiba that I take directly under the tongue. I love how it has, like, with all those capillaries under the tongue, it has immediate access to what I need for it to produce for me. So the three ways again: aromatically, topically, and internally. I'm going to briefly show you some of the oils. The ones I'm showing you here, I've mentioned already, many of them. And the reason I mention these ones in particular is because this company is really good at um, knowing where people might like to begin their journey, based on past experience and based on feedback. So many of the oils I'm talking about are what comprise our starter kits. And we're going to talk about the kits in a moment because they're a really great way to begin your essential oil journey. But let me just buzz through a few of these key oils. If you have more questions, like I said, there's going to be an opportunity. I'm going to flash my text number up here, and you're always welcome to text me with those questions. But just know that this is the tip of the iceberg. These oils have hundreds of uses, each of them, but I'll highlight a few for each. I'm going to call your attention to the labeling that's associated on these slides. A stands for aromatic use, T stands for topical, and I stands for internal. And you'll see that associated with each of the oils that I flash up here, the ways that you can use each of these. So lemon is great for being a terrific mood booster, first of all, but it's a great cleanser, detoxer for the body, and a great cleanser of your home as well. Frankincense is my all-time favorite essential oil. It can be used aromatically, topically, and internally. It promotes calm feelings. It helps with the anti-aging process because um, it helps with cell proliferation. So it is always working to regenerate healthy cells. There's a lot of information on frankincense that would take us another hour to discuss. I'm going to give you a little tip here. If you are a research-based person, can I suggest to you check out a website called PubMed, P-U-B-M-E-D. That's a third-party medical research site that a lot of people in the medical community use, but that we as regular folks, we have access to it as well. So if you're ever really curious about an ingredient, and I suggest you to look up frankincense on that site, you're going to find a lot of peer-reviewed clinical studies, all of that kind of thing. So if you're very research-based, I feel like you would be fascinated with what you discover with frankincense. Digest Zen, also called Zengest. I mentioned this one earlier. This one relieves upset stomach, motion sickness, or nausea. It's great to improve digestion at mealtime. It also comes in capsules. Deep Blue, this has become a friend of mine lately because we moved and we did a lot of lifting and carrying things around. And this one is great for application to aching muscles and joints. And it's terrific for alleviating any type of tension within the body. Breathe. This one also has another name. In Canada, we call this one Easy Air. It's the same thing. This is our respiratory blend, so it helps lungs and sinuses, and it promotes clear breathing day and night. We also have Wild Orange, which literally every time I talk about Wild Orange, I swear I start to salivate. I love this essential oil. It's incredibly uplifting to the mood. It is invigorating, great to put in a diffuser, middle of the afternoon when you typically reach for coffee. I'm not telling you not to go for coffee, but I'm telling you this is great for creating a more energized environment. It's also great added to vanilla Greek yogurt as the ultimate dip. Okay, while I grab a drink, I'm going to get you to think about something. I want you to think about what your top 3 health concerns would be. And if you're the kind of person who's taking care of someone else, your top health concern might be about that other person. So my mom is experiencing a lot of additional pain, right? That's something that you want to help solve for. Or my daughter's having a hard time sleeping, or I have an issue with hormone regulation or something like that. I want you to think about what would those top 3 things be for you specifically. The ones that we hear about most often are stress, sleep, hormone regulation. Where's some of the other ones? I said sleep already. Oh, balancing emotions. That's a really popular topic right now for lots of different reasons. And I am so happy to be able to speak to that. Mental wellness. So take a moment and just write those down. Okay, the reason I have you write these down is that one of us, so if someone has shared this class with you, it's probably the person you're most closely connected to in the doTERRA community. So that person is going to want to circle back with you and talk about what oils would specifically create the most immediate effect for you. Where would you be best off beginning, I guess is the best way to say that. If I'm your direct source, then I look forward to knowing what your top 3 health concerns that you wrote down are. And what I'm going to do for you is help create a protocol for you. So a daily routine where I feel so certain that you're going to experience benefits relatively quickly and over the long term. Remember, this is a lifestyle commitment, right? So it's really easy to commit to, guys. I know commitment is sometimes a word we shy away from, but once you start using the oils, it's something that you're really drawn to, both physically and mentally. You will be drawn to your oils. So I will help you develop a protocol that is best suited to you. Okay, helping you understand really the best way to begin. I cannot share an essential oils 101 class with you though without sharing with you our #1 selling product at doTERRA. This is really our foundation, our core. And even though we are an essential oil company, our #1 selling product is a supplement. So that might strike you as strange. It did me at the beginning, but I have been using this now for years, and now I totally get it, why it would be #1. So this is called LLV, Lifelong Vitality Supplements. So you get the 3 bottles that are depicted here, and the routine is this. You would be taking 2 of each of these twice a day. That's the recommended dosing. What's fascinating about this supplement system is this. You can try this for 30 days, and if you don't experience the wins that are associated with using it, you can get all your money back. So it's a risk-free opportunity to try something that will have a huge impact on you. I've never had anyone return them. I'm not saying that you can't, I'm just saying I haven't. If you are a person who already supplements, you are really primed to be someone who should try this out because you have a frame of reference. You know how you feel using what you've used in the past. So I would invite you to try this for 30 days, knowing you can get your money back if you don't experience the results. And you have the wisdom behind you of having used other products before. If you are not someone who uses supplements, I was you once upon a time, mostly because I had a bad habit of just sort of forgetting my supplements. They were in the house, I just wasn't using them. But if you're not a supplementer right now, here's what I'm going to invite you to do. 30 days, you can do anything for 30 days, right? You're going to start using these lifelong vitality supplements. You will notice a change. For women, you usually notice it around the 2-week mark. And what I mean by that is like an elevated sense of energy. I didn't buy into this right away, guys. I only really believed that these supplements were working well for me when I would stop using them. Remember I said I had bad habits? So I would start them and then I would stop. And it was when I stopped that I realized every time I stop, those are the days when, I feel like I need to go to sleep in the afternoon, or I just feel achy. I just don't feel like myself. I don't feel great. So keep that in mind. Risk-free opportunity to try something truly extraordinary. The nice thing about these supplements is that they are based on food nutrition, but they are coupled with the benefits of the power of essential oils. So the reason that is so important, I won't go into all the details, but I'll tell you a couple things. Many people experience digestive discomfort when they use supplements. By adding the essential oils to it, like ginger, for example, that helps to allow the stomach to receive the benefits of the supplements without causing any kind of upset. Additionally, the essential oils create an opportunity for the nutritional value to become more bioavailable. That is to say that your body's able to use the nutrients that you're supplying it with through this supplement program. So it's pretty cool, right? So risk-free for 30 days, it's something I can't emphasize enough. If you don't start with your oils now, but you start with lifelong vitality, you'll be in a great space. any questions on that, just make sure you ask, okay? Now we're going to get into the 3 ways that you can get started with doTERRA essential oils, the 3 ways that you can purchase them. The first one we blow by pretty fast. You can buy retail. That's actually the most expensive way to get your essential oils, and typically you're only going to see full retail prices when you go into like a salon or your chiropractor's office or professional settings. We have a lot of physicians now that are carrying the essential oils. They're required to sell it at full retail, but there's a better way. And I know you want to hear about the better way. You could purchase through wholesale. And the very best way for me to describe this, because most people understand the way Costco works, is you buy a Costco membership. So in this case, your doTERRA membership. And that opens you up to seeing all of the very best products and getting a discount on those products anytime you choose to shop. There's no maximum, no minimum times you have to shop. They just know, that anytime you choose to shop, you're going to get a discount. So that's really terrific. And certainly better than paying full retail, right? But there's an even better way, and I want to share that one with you. That is buying below wholesale. That is the way I got started. It's just the smartest way to buy your essential oils, and this is how it works. You would start with one of our starter kits, and I'm going to introduce those to you in just a moment. You would get, when you start with the starter kit, you get, depending on the kit you choose, any of the oils that are included in it are less than wholesale prices. You know how bundling works, right? Anytime you buy anything in a bundle, it's always less expensive. So you're getting it for less than wholesale. You're getting a free 1-year doTERRA membership, which normally would have cost you $42, right? For your wholesale membership, if I didn't mention that before. And what else? Immediate access to our community and all of the education, and the list just goes on and on. You have access to like our promotional materials, and by that I mean, like this month, for example, we have this beautiful floral kit that was designed with Mother's Day in mind, but obviously not just for Mother's Day, but you're the first one to know about that. And even those products you get a discount on. So buying below wholesale is definitely the best way. So number 3 option is certainly the best. Let me introduce you to some of the options. When I show these to you, I want you to, depending on where you're watching from, the price will be different. The US, the UK, Canada. So I don't have the prices up here. What I want you to do is to write down the name of the kit that is the most appealing to you. When you do that, when I or whoever your direct contact person is circles back with you and we talk about your top 3 health concerns, we can help you select the kit that best matches up with creating the protocols that are going to work best for you. Okay, so this is our big guy. This is our Natural Solutions kit. This comes with all kinds of oils, personal care products, a diffuser, the Lifelong Vitality supplements, some home care products like doTERRA On Guard soap. You're also getting 2 of our digestive products, the TerraZyme digestive enzymes, as well as probiotics. This is my favorite kit of all. It looks very much like the one that I started with all those years ago, it seems like. It's slightly different now. It's improved now. It's called the Healthy Essentials Kit. Why do I love this one? Because you get 10 of our top selling essential oils. You also get an incredible diffuser. We call this one the Petal Diffuser, and it's fun because it's got different settings on it. It can run for 2, 4, 10 hours. I feel like that's a 10-hour runtime. It's got an optional light option on it. It's a really beautiful diffuser, but the most important piece is the 10 essential oils here. This basically covers off anything that you would need to tackle in the home. I swear you've got the solutions in front of you with this kit. Your membership comes free with any of these. Remember that. The Healthy Start Kit. This one's also really cool. Let me point out the difference because it's not as easy to see in a picture. I showed you 10 awesome options here in the Healthy Essentials Kit. These are 15 ml bottles, aside from Deep Blue, which only comes in a 5 ml bottle. The Healthy Start Kit is 10 of our top selling oils, but they are all 5 ml bottles. A smaller diffuser still runs for 10 hours though. It's great in bathrooms or small bedroom. So it depends on when and where and how often you feel you'll be using your essential oils. I like to consider this kit the ultimate starter, like ultimate sampler kit, I guess is a good way to look at it. There's about 80 drops in a 5 ml bottle and about 250 drops in a 15 ml bottle. So once you see the prices, the other thing that you'll note is that this kit is 3 times the size, but not 3 times the price. So if you're a value conscious person like I am, you're going to want to be mindful of that as well. So I'm going to move on to the next one, the Healthy Habits Kit. So excited to be able to tell you guys, you're the first group that I've been able to share this with in a class. This is now not only available just in the US, but it's available in Canada now too. And we love this one because it starts you off with 5 key oils, the Lifelong Vitality supplements, Deep Blue Rub for aches and pains. We talked about that before. And it also comes with 2 digestive products, which we recommend highly for adding to your Lifelong Vitality supplements. One is Terrazyme digestive enzymes, and the other is our PB Assist, which is our probiotic. Brilliant collection. Love this. And the membership is free with this one also. Our Healthy Home Kit. If you're the kind of person coming into this adventure knowing that your top priority is really transitioning some of the toxic chemicals in your home, this might be the kit for you. Healthy Home Kit. Simple Solutions is our smallest kit, but the idea behind this one is that you would start with these 4 key pieces and then customize. Maybe you've heard something along the line that you want to add to this. Simple Solutions includes the Deep Blue Rub, so you're tackling the pain and discomfort pillar. Lemon is your detox. On Guard is your protection, and Serenity is like a restful blend, which is great for supporting sleep. Our recommendation beyond that would be to figure out what it is, what you came here for, and allow us to add to your kit from there. The reason we put this in a kit is so that you can get your membership for free. Okay, so any of the kits, the membership is free. I mentioned before that you always have access to cool monthly promotions. So in this case, I mentioned before that the Mother's Day Focus Kit, the Precious Florals, is available. We always have access to discounts, above and beyond our wholesale pricing. This month it's Melissa and Yarrow Palm Complex. And I didn't mention this earlier because it was kind of saving it to the end, because this is a nice little perk as well. If you're listening to this class is what we call a Diamond Club class, which just simply means that should you decide to begin your essential oils journey, you will have access to one of our bonus gifts. So our bonus gift for this month is Citrus Bliss. When you purchase 100 PV or more, and you get Citrus Bliss Plus Adaptive, which is our mental wellness blend, when you purchase 300 PV or more. So those kits, as I mentioned before, when we connect back with you and you'd let us know which one you're most interested in, that is where we share the price. Or you can look it up. Go to doterra.com or ask the person who sent you to this class. We'll just send you the cost associated with your favorite kit, okay? And then you can do some research or your due diligence on your own. But I just wanted you to know that this little bonus comes with it because you watched this class. Now, here's the catch to that, though. There's a little catch. You would need to place your order within 3 days of this class. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, you just reach out. And you can reach out to me here. So if you have a direct person, as I mentioned before, chances are you have a relationship with that person, and I would highly encourage you, circle back with them. They know you better than I do, and there's so many incredible, wise, beautiful people in our doTERRA education team. So do reach out to them and get all of your questions answered. If you don't have a direct access person, though, I want you to know you can text me. So send me your questions, and I will do my very best to get back to you quickly. I am going to quickly share with you one last thing before we wrap things up. Many people know this already, but there is a business opportunity with doTERRA. And I bring this up at the end of this class for a very specific reason. And that is to tell you that when I or anyone on the education team has hosted in-class or in-person classes in the past, we see a lot of different variety in terms of the reasons people show up. Some people show up, maybe 10% of them come because they have digestive issues, and 25 come because they're having sleep concerns, or you name it. There's different percentages. Everyone comes for a different reason. But 99.9% of the people who come to the class could benefit from financial healing. So we cannot end this without just a really quick discussion on what is available to you should you decide to look into this a little bit deeper. And again, ask the questions. We're here to help. There's never pressure associated with doTERRA. I hope you can sense that. Just get the answers to your question. That's the biggest thing. So why doTERRA? Why now? There is an earning opportunity. So I want you to know a few things about this. First of all, we are the largest essential oil company in the world, and we're the most tested. We talked about that a lot. We're the most trusted in the market. We're used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. And not only that, but we have our own clinics that are starting to emerge in the US and will eventually make their way into Canada, called the Prime Meridian Health Clinic. So I encourage you to take a look at that. They're ethically and sustainably sourced. I can attest to this, having participated in a co-impact sourcing initiative in Guatemala. I've watched the process of planting the seed right to the distillation point, right before it reaches you in those beautiful amber bottles. So ethically and sustainably sourced. The company works directly with the farmers. So not only are we getting the benefits of the essential oil on our end, but we are supporting communities worldwide in creating a sustainable source of income for themselves, their families. We know when families are strong, communities are strong, and everybody thrives, right? We have 120 markets opened and more opening later this year. So one of the beautiful souls on our team is, she's in India right now. We're very excited that the Indian market will be opening up towards the end of this year. Our compensation plan is genius. We have a very high retention rate, meaning that when people come in, they stay. They absolutely stay. And if you compare that number, 65%, with other companies, you will see that that is an extraordinary retention rate. We're a privately run company. So the reason I share that little point with you is it's kind of a big one. We're owned by 7 executives, founding executives, and we don't answer to a board. We don't answer to anyone. They listen to all of us as wellness advocates, and decisions are made collectively. It's a really powerful thing. You genuinely feel part of a family with doTERRA. I mentioned this, or I alluded to this. It's an incredible ownership team, and we are a debt-free company with no outside funding. That's a big deal in today's world. Debt-free, I share that with you because any company that is debt-free, and keep in mind, we're the largest essential oil. You would think that there would be some overhead with that. Debt-free company means doTERRA can take their earnings and place it where it matters. And they choose to invest in us as wellness advocates because our compensation plan is awesome. They invest in the farmers from all around the world. We talked about our sourcing. And they invest in research so that we can prove that these natural sources, this plant medicine, is having a very powerful effect on the human body, the spirit, the mind. So give all of this a little bit of consideration. I want to invite you to have a further conversation on this. Most importantly, though, let's get you started with some oil. So let us know the kit that resonates most with you. We'll make sure that you know the cost associated with it. We'll make sure that we design a protocol that is personalized to you, and then we will plug you into all the beauty that the doTERRA community has just waiting for you. Thank you so much for watching this to the end. I am genuinely so grateful for the opportunity to share the oils at any given time. So questions, send them away, and I look forward to connecting with you again really soon. Thank you.